Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the 3R Wahoo Ride Reel Series, race number 7 out of 7. I'm Nathan Garrow. Alongside of me is Dave Toll, coming at me virtually out of Colorado. I'm at ZCL headquarters, and I hope everybody's having an awesome last day of June. We're about to head into July, and we are 1 minute to the start of this final 7 out of 7. And this has been a pretty hotly contested race series so far. Dave, I think, I'm not sure we're going to have a whole lot of changing in the overall with Crit City today, but there's definitely, we could see some tries at breakaways. 16 laps, you've got a little bit of opportunity, but it's hard to get away on this course, that's for sure.
It's going to be fast and furious, Nathan, no doubt about it. Again, round 7 of 7 here for the 3R Wahoo Ride Reel Race Series. We're excited today. We're going to be joined by Zach Herod, George Mills Keeling, and possibly Andy Turner, as we'll be checking in with them as they're out there. Nathan's got a lot going on. I'm stoked as we are locked and spring loaded. This series has been awesome. As Nathan said, you never really know what's going to happen out here. Someone might upset the apple cart. It's these laps, 16 of them, really, really intense, Nathan.
Yeah, it's going to be, this course, it has a little bump in it every single lap, a little bit of a KOM. Takes about 30 to 40 seconds to climb it, really, and the riders, will see how they do take it on. The riders do always make the race, so they are jumping out on course. They'll be covering the A category out here today. It does look like there were 340 signed up across all the categories, though, when I first was jumping in, so still very popular, even into the middle of the summer, so pretty cool to see how Zwift has really kept everybody connected right now. Very, very cool to see. But as usual, the fast and furious start that we do see out on Zwift. I'm looking at 135th place currently here with D Knight. Going to get his shout out on the day here. We'll see if we can hang on, though, in and amongst the crowds out here as they try to make their way forward, it looks like, into the front end of this race. A couple of already starting to fall off the back. It's always fast and furious from the get-go. Let's see if we can move up to the front end of this race, though, as Knight, it looks like, here already falling off terms now at this point. But here's the front end of the race. 5th place currently for Ostrom, coming out of Team SZ. McGlinchky's here as well, Vitus Pro Cycling. First time up and over the top of the climb, as we head out onto Crit City here, downtown Dolphin. This would be what I would call the forward direction as we take the right-hand turn onto a little bit of cobbles here and start the climb into the KOM. It's quite the punch on this side, a little bit steeper than it is on the other side, which is going to put a little more sting in the legs each lap, I think, Dave.
Yeah, there's a stunning amount of animation that goes on, a ferocious start here. I mean, look at that first K in under 118, I'd say. Nathan, let's talk about some of the big names to be watching for here. It's interesting when you're into the 7th race of a 7-race series here, as we are with 3R Wahoo Ride Reel Race. You've got some riders that are jumping in that are going to be wild cards, looking to come out of the woodwork, if you will. So some of the names to watch, though, Evoke has Brian Hodges here. He's a difference maker every single time he takes the start, Nathan.
Especially on this course. Especially on this course with Hodges because of the sprint at the end. The guy can open things up.
I would agree. Wouldn't you say, if you're going to start breaking this down? We have a moment here, as you can see, that we're really just getting the first lap in under our belt right now, getting a good look at what it's going to be like out here today. However, it's going to be really intense at the front. But so Brian Hodges, 4 stars next to his name. Juan Cruz Araldi, Vigo Moore, Scott Gleason, Ryan Larson, Dan Fleeman, Leandro Messinillo. Those are Zach Herod, Andy Turner, Daniel Ricardo, and George Mills Keeling. I mean, it goes on and on and on. They're going to be coming at you left, right, and center out here, Nathan. I'm expecting that old school fury today, the attack after attack. They're going to be counterattacking over the top of counterattacks, and someone's got to crack the code out here today. It's going to be fun to watch. When you start, Nathan, it's the 30th of June. And we have over 150 riders taking the start, and look at how many of them are super strong. It's an amazing time.
I mean, right? Like almost 100% humidity over here with like 90 degrees out, and people are still killing it out on Zwift. I love to see it. And I think this is part of the attraction here, the reality of the of the standings, I think, as well when it comes to the overalls. We'll bring in the overall standings in just a moment here. It was a time-based out here today, and the leader out
Makes
here
it
is going to be Andy Turner currently. We do have some live shots with him as well. We will be bringing those in as soon as possible. 171 beats per minute currently coming from Oster, and there is Turner. We're taking a look at right toward the front end here. 14.5 watt. Wow, serious
wow.
attacks coming on
Oh.
immediately. Stars to pros closet. I think Larson is the reason that this is happening as Turner goes 12 watts per kilogram coming from him. This is attacks right from the get-go.
My, oh my. This is bananas. This early, 3K in, Nathan, and they are going absolutely ballistic. You know, Nathan, I think you can throw everything else out the barn door here. They're racing today for the win. This is like a classics race. It's going to be very short, only 31 kilometers, 16 laps out on this downtown Dolphin course. But Nathan, look at this, a stunner going
5
clear
seconds
right now.
They've already
that's
got a
Andy
gap.
Turner.
This is crazy.
Turner in the green jersey. With him is going to be, it's the Zwift Carbon is the green jersey. That's going to be Ryan Larson there in the orange and blue of Saris Pros Closet. So, Nathan, two very talented riders. There is mega talent in this two-rider group. There's two riders with 10 riders worth of talent right there.
Yeah, this is definitely a threat, that's for sure. But with only 2 riders here and the reality of what it is like to try and hold a group off with the kind of talent that is behind, it's going to be a difficult day for them. But if they get a few more to come across here, or if they keep opening things up over and over again, I think, as you can see, Andy calming down just a little bit here from the live shots right now. So I think they're going to calm it down, but we may see counterattacks coming pretty quickly here.
So that's, Nathan, really, when you look at what's the recipe for the breakaway that works, especially on a course like this, like you really only get one shot at it. It's going to take 6 riders, is my guess, and you're going to have a whole bunch of teams represented with the right guy. It's a near impossibility that you get all of that right. It's like when Luke Skywalker went into the Death Star, right? It wasn't good odds. Well, it's not good odds that a breakaway stays away today, but it certainly is possible, especially when you've got so many talented riders that you really don't know what their ambition is out here. Well, their ambition is to win a bike race. You don't know what their strategy is going to be. Nathan, here you go. Thanks for getting this up here as we take a look at the top 10 based on time. So Andy Turner, who's already been active, is on top of the leaderboard. We've got a camera in with George Mills Keeling out of the United Kingdom today. And that's our top 3, including Andrew Hawden. What a list you've got there, Nathan.
Yeah, Andrew Hawden there coming in for 3rd currently. James Barnes there to 36.07. So there is, if these seconds can make a difference at the end of the day here, and more attacks coming through, just want to real quickly highlight, though, who we're going to be watching out for to try and make these breaks, make these attacks. It's really that top 5, because outside of that, it's about a 2-minute gap or so from there. There is some placings, though, below that maybe people are going to be watching out for, but it is those top 5, Harrod, Barnes, Hawden, Keeling, and Turner. Watch out for real breaks for them when it comes to the overall. Or maybe we could have riders just looking for the victory out there today, looking for that the reality of trying to just take the win on the day. Is George Mills Keeling saying he's on a TT bike? I'm going to have to look for his avatar here, because if he is, it'll be interesting to see how he's going to play that one out.
Yeah. Nathan, to be honest, with that much of an advantage right now, talking about Andy Turner, a series leader here, he, like, not only would he have to lose his internet, like his internet provider would have to go out of business, because he would have enough time to go connect to his neighbor and still get back in and race, because it's a huge gap. So I do think, especially with, I don't think there's a lot of guys expected to be racing with this kind of intensity, this kind of numbers, the quality and the quantity that we're talking about on Zwift in late June into July. And what an exciting month July is going to be. Holy cow. So Nathan, all right, 6K in. We got a long way to go here. This is Estella's. I like this team a lot, Nathan. They're, I was going to say bi-coastal. They're bi-coastal on multiple nations, I should say, as this team has got quite a mix. And that's the norm for esports team, I would say. I don't know of too many teams that have just one nation represented. There's a lot of cross-pollinating out there. George looking good, though, Nathan. I see you've got a camera with him looking really comfortable. This is a top U23 rider who, at some point, he's going to make that breakthrough in real life and find maybe a North American team that will pick him up. Someone like Jelly Belly could use a talent like George.
Yeah, George, super strong rider here. Has been showing up to all the races recently. He also is taking a shot at streaming as well, so be on the watch out for him. He's been on Facebook as well as Twitch. Great to see the riders giving those efforts. And this is what we're going to see each and every lap here. Up and out of the saddle, giving that kick. We do see him up in the 7 watts per kilogram. George, I think, is playing it really smart, though. You can see the 7.1 watts per kilogram, current 164 beats per minute. We're currently seeing about 400 watts for him. Just following wheels,
Pretty
top
chill.
20, making sure he doesn't find himself, though, out of position if there is a serious move like we saw a couple laps ago from Larson as well as Turner. So Keeling here, as you can see, very experienced rider as he calms down the cadence there.
There's no such thing as Zwift and chill. It's Zwift and get after it, because this definitely is going to be an intense next couple of laps, Nathan. There's a pinch point on the course. We come up on it pretty quickly here. Actually, this might be the one spot you get these rollers here before we come back through what's going to be the finishing straight. These guys get to know this very, very well. This popular downtown Dolphin course does a tremendous job of replicating what a criterium course, what it brings out of you. There's going to be a couple parts on every lap where you have to make those just superhuman efforts. A lot of times, Nathan, that U-turn right there, that brings you right into the finish line as you look at the last 50 meters. So someone's going to go up into 15 watts per kilo right here. There'll be a sonic boom. And let's see, Nathan, we're just about 4 laps in, so I'm guessing it's 12 to go. Here.
Yeah, 12 to go. I believe it's 12 to go. I believe about 12 to go. We'll see it on the next lap here in just a moment, though. But East Dallas here, we actually are on board with 2 of their riders. We'll see if there's any communication going on between them at all, as we do have Zach Harrod also on board. Zach's looking super calm here at this point, though. I don't think he's under any pressure at all whatsoever, as it looks like. Very calm in the face, following every single move in the right position here. 75th place. Now, too far back, though. You know, on this course, this is the place where I get a little concerned. You can see Zach even moving his way forward just a little bit, up into 300 watts or so, 5.1 watts per kilogram real quick there, making sure he doesn't find himself too far back, because through this section of course right here, as we hit this bump again, it is where you can find yourself in the wrong position. Being in the 100th place at the back and the split happens at the front, next thing you know, you're amongst the riders who just can't close it down. So Zach moving his way forward. Now you see 470 watts here coming from up and out of the saddle now. As you can see, 176. A little bit of a kick here. We are seeing some orange numbers. Now making his way directly to the front. We'll see him probably back off, as it's going to be about fade climbing or fading back through the pack to find that draft in just a moment. There's actually a TT bike here from Anderson out here today. Interesting to see.
I love the spectrum that we have, Nathan, with riders here. I was looking at Dan Fleeman's name, always one of the most dangerous riders. He's on that Saris, the Pros Closet team. Dan spent in the 2000s, he was in the World Tour, where it was called the Pro Tour at that time. But he did some of the biggest races, traveled the globe. So he's in that point of his career where you got some riders like Zach or George, where, I mean, one of the great things about our Zwift community is now, if Nathan, if team directors, in real life directors here in America, were asking about these guys and said, well, what do you think? I'd say, you know what? Just what I know about them through Zwift, I can tell you that they're really high quality riders, and you get to learn about them as people as well. We're going back in with Anderson right now, picking up the front of the bike race. The Tête de la Course they're about a third of the way into this slugfest here. Nathan, in real life, there would be an incredible surge every single lap around that U-turn. Do you feel it out here as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually, so with 11 to go, real quickly, they're just spotting that. But, that right-hand turn is always a section of course, depending on how you come into that section of course. There's, the downhill, you can definitely chill out just a little bit. You got to kick it over each one of those little bumps there. And then if you're in the right position, you can come around and kind of coast a little bit if you're in the right position. If you're in the wrong position, you are kicking to find your way back to the front. So it really depends on how much speed you carry through the bumps on the back end of the KOM, actually, through that little chicane that comes right before the finish line there. So positioning also alongside of whether or not you used the physics in game to gain speed. One thing I learned over the weekend, actually, in a major way, something that reminded me, I raced the KISS 100 this past weekend, and speed. I was watching my speed continually for how many watts I was putting out. And it really, really matters. I think a lot of people focus a little bit too much on their watts per kilogram that they're currently putting out, rather than how much they're being rewarded with speed in game, and learning to decipher where those moments are that you can get the most speed out of your avatar for the watts you're actually giving.
Fascinating, Nathan. Wow, this is a monster peloton that we've got right now with some monster talents in it. You said McGlinchey is racing today, Nathan. It's funny.
McGlinchey's most definitely out there.
Yeah,
I
I
saw him
just
just a
saw
moment
his
ago.
name there. Right, he's sitting about what 15 riders back from the front right now. I'd say, tucked into the sweet spot of the group where one would be a savvy rider like McGlinchey out of Northern Ireland. Always going to be a man to watch out here. Hodges and Araldi have been showing great form. We haven't even talked about Vigo Moore and Scott Gleason. One thing that I'm a little surprised, Nathan, that there's this many guys still in the front group right now. I mean, it is massive when you look at it. Not, I think that everybody being a little conservative maybe today. Again, as you look at the racing we have from around the world, some of these guys racing out of Argentina where they're coming into their winter. Leandro Messinillo is a rider that is definitely going to be winning some bike races here in the next month. I have a feeling he's starting to ramp it up again, Nathan, as we take a look at Andy Turner, our series leader. So that green jersey virtually would be yellow as he clicks another lap off of the counter. Zwift Carb and the team for Turner, boy, he's on a roll right now, literally, as he opens up a small gap. Nathan, anyone want to go join him, you think? A little more than a third of the way, coming up on the halfway point of this race?
Yeah, it looks like, well, I mean, he's off the front here, but I think anybody is going to be saying, no, this isn't going much of anywhere. But I think he's just showing his dominance at this point. I think 6.7 watts per kilogram.
Is that good?
From Andy. 178 beats per minute. I think he's looking for maybe somebody trying to come across. Now, here's the thing. Going into this climb here, this is going to be a dangerous moment because the pack is going to come flying up on him in just a moment here. It looks like KO here out of Canada chasing down your current series leader here. But with 3 seconds here, if he can kick again, now this is going to be a huge ask for Annie, I think, at this point, but if he can kick again one more time and get anybody to come along with him, hopefully he has some sort of good power up here. Actually, I don't think power ups are actually on in this race, so we'll have to wait and see. But if he can kick again, maybe get somebody to come across. Now, see, again, orange numbers. If he gets somebody to instigate out, 10 watts per kilogram here, turn up and on the saddle, as you can see now. This is a moment of truth here for the racers. If somebody does come across, 3 or 4, even 5 riders come across here, this is a moment that could cause a break. Waglinski's going, Kayo's going. We are seeing it looks like Innovations getting involved as well as Keeling. So serious moment here.
That's how you light the fuse, Nathan. No doubt about it. The great Eddie Merckx, they used to call it la course en tête, racing at the head of the race. And that's where you make it all happen. And that's exactly what Turner is doing. So this is some traffic that he's coming up on right now, I have to believe, Nathan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're lapping riders out here already. Who's getting up to join him? It looks like George Mills Keeling is coming. So Turner and Keeling. Nathan, am I right there? Those are lapped riders, correct?
100% right. Definitely lapped riders that are out on course here. Fleeman's looking to come across, though, it looks like. As see Keeling here covering moves out on course. Herod's trying to get involved as well.
Boy.
Our live riders here, all 3 of them, trying to put on a little bit of a show out here today. Herod actually off the front here now at this point on a full-on attack, countering what we just saw coming from Turner. So constant attacks here left and right from our riders on the live cams.
Yeah, wow. This would qualify as bananas, that's for sure. So these guys are not going to wait for the race to be brought to them. They are serving up a healthy dish of pain right now, but they're going to reset this one here. An attentive peloton is not going to play around. Some quality riders like Zach Herod, and we've got a camera on Zach right now. They must have some incredible fans for sale in the United Kingdom because that guy looks as cool as can be after what is a massive effort to get to this point as we're at the midpoint of the race. And here we go. Look at Yo, the Canadian rider up on the front now. Nathan, I think they're going to sort things out a little bit here as it goes nearly single file at this point. We're finding another level here. Will this split the group? My guess is yes.
It looks like they're really trying here. Ryan Larson along with McGlinchey. They're getting a little bit of advantage from those attacks, actually, as Larson heads to the front with 8.2 watts per kilogram, up into 450. It looks like 170 beats per minute. This right here, this is really the moment, as we would say, because now everybody is on their limit. And if they kick again, there's going to be some people who just do not have the power in the legs. And McGlinchey is making it happen. Venus Pro Cycling at the front.
Get ready to meet the gutter, ladies and gentlemen. The Northern Irishman is going to be happy to show you here. Nathan, this is gut check time. So I thought we were seeing a little bit of razzmatazz coming from the men at the Saris team, but now McGlinchey said enough is enough. He's the Irishman here is going to go big, really big. We move through the middle part of this race. Nathan, these numbers should be insane. This rider is feared. He's going to put the right now is they should all come together. Zach Herod not going to play around with this one. They're all well aware of what they're dealing with here. And with this group left, they're not going to let McGlinchey go. But I think he just showed us, he just flexed, Nathan. Big flex there from McGlinchey.
Yeah, a little bit of a flex. Now look at that chicane, though. This is what we're talking about. If you do not time things well at these moments right now, see, there's the split. Look at that. About 10, 15 riders off the back right now, and there's an opportunity. If they do not close that gap, the right-hand turn right here speeds up out of the corner. If somebody attacks out of this corner right now, more riders will continue to fall off. They'll be able to split this group in almost half, but they have to continue on right now with this pressure. They cannot sit up and look at each other.
Yeah, this is where riders are starting to get tunnel vision, Nathan. At the back of that group, you can see multiple gaps opening up. Boom, boom, out go the lights. Unless you can get up into this group in the next, I would say you've got about a 15-second window, and that is closing quickly here. So this big surge, riders like Zach Herod having an outstanding day. Nathan, you chose the right guys to put cameras in with today, that's for sure. Zach, Andy, and George have all been animating and dictating out here. Oh, this reality, Nathan. When the train leaves the station and you were getting your cup of coffee and you came running out the door and it was rolling, and that is it. Unless you can run like Usain Bolt, you're not jumping on.
No, and it looks like Steven Pink. He's one of our top riders actually out there in the series. Falling off the back here. Yep, from the dropouts. And it's actually from some attacks from his teammate, I think, as Turner from the dropouts was on the front making things happen. But Pink's probably happy with it. All Stevens is actually off the back here as well. Interesting to see from Stellis. His teammates also lighting things up at the front.
Yeah, wow. So, yeah, Stellis is such a strong team here. I guess George Mills Keeling is going to be there. Man, Nathan, is this? Okay, this is a chase group that we've got right now here.
Yeah, now we're back on the front. Back on the front.
Former Dirty Kanza winner. I guess that race is going to have a new name here by the next time I'll check. But this is going to be Leandro Messanillo, the Argentinian rider, a huge talent, no doubt about it. He's one of the better sprinters that we've got. So Hodges, I know Vigo Moore can sprint. His countryman, Araldi, can sprint. So, Nathan, there's a lot of guys left here that can close out the deal, that's for sure. A few riders are going to try to look and slip away while you get these sprinters looking at each other as we go back to the United Kingdom with George Mills Keeling. All right, George, looking good.
Yeah, we've got the head-to-head here. Looking at the different efforts here, we can see Keeling as well as Turner. They're both made the lead group here. You can see them kind of calming things down just a little bit. You can, even sitting up a little bit there. Turner saying, okay, the attacks are over here. Keeling here just following wheels, as you can see as well. Keeping eyes on how things are playing out. 171 beats per minute. That's what it looks like right now. We'll see if we can also find Turner and where he's at in the group. Turner, your current series leader, I think he's just going to be it's interesting to see how he's attacking, though, off the front. So, definitely not scared on the day. A lot of times the series leaders will kind of keep things calm and just try and reserve, but we're definitely not seeing that from Turner out here today.
Yeah, not sitting back on his heels, that's for sure. And it certainly makes the race more fun to watch out here. Yeah, he's gone for it a couple of times, but now I think everybody, the reality that we're going to have a pretty large group sprinting, at least that's the way I see it. So for everybody joining us, thank you. It has been an incredible season, no doubt about it. You are picking us up right now, a little more than halfway through what is a 31-kilometer, but again, fast and furious was how we described this at the start, and that's living up to be true without any doubt. The 3R Wahoo, the Ride Real Race Series, it's all come down to this. To be honest, our race leader, it's a points-based series, and even if it were time-based or points-based, it's a time-based series. So, and the gap that Andy Turner has is large enough that, unless something really dramatic happened, it would almost be something really like an internet issue, because at this point he's proven how strong he is. He's attacked multiple times. So the conversation really becomes about who's going to win the final day here. Think of it like the final stage of the Tour de France as the guys right now, Nathan. I mean, it's not even going to be 40 minutes of racing. They're going to burn through this one. As we look at, again, Andy Turner, that's the man I was talking about, our series leader. And really, he's like Elliot Ness, untouchable.
McKay off the front here as we are seeing Finesse looking to chase things down here. Shackle as well as Solak, it looks like now toward the front. Gringo we're seeing Onunger as well coming from the Cryogen team, and Ostrom there from Team SC. Manoret, I actually raced with Manoret over the weekend here in the WTRL team coming out of Belgium. He's making his way to the front. Yeah, that was a tough race this past weekend with these boys. Definitely a guy who's willing to put some work in, that's for sure. Sitting at 172 at 4.5 watts per kilogram currently.
The Swedes.
Unfamiliar with Zwift. I just want to give everybody a quick little lowdown of what they're looking at. We do have new viewers popping in here and there, especially with the announcement of a virtual Tour de France coming in. More people, I think, over the month of July, going into July now, I think are definitely going to be like, what is Zwift all about as we go a lot more mainstream. 6 laps to go. You are currently looking at an upper left-hand corner at Mannert. This is his real wattage he's currently putting out. 21 watts, actually. Backing right on off, looking for a draft, most likely 172 beats per minute. Moving backwards pretty quickly, actually, here. 27 RPM.
You chose the wrong guy at the wrong time.
I think he's dropping. I think he's having a dropout or something here. As he is maybe just done, or I'm not sure. But now we're back with Fleeman.
Not normal.
Not normal at all. But then the right-hand corner, we're seeing the current gradient as well as the map, as we can click on through on the map here and see where everybody stands out on course. You can also see all the riders nearby. The current rider we're looking at is Dan Fleeman on the right-hand side, currently 4.2 watts per kilogram. You can see his wattage in the upper left-hand corner. At the top of the screen, you see the duration in kilometers, how much climbing they've done, current speed as well as current time, and who we are watching, which is Diane Fleeman for Cyrus the Pro's Closet in that orange and light blue jersey.
All right. So as we take a look, again, this is a course that it hasn't been around much that long. Downtown Dolphin is part of, they're always building new worlds. And obviously, as Nathan was just talking about, huge announcements coming from Zwift HQ about the Tour de France and a lot of exciting things happening right now. And here's one of the guys, Dan Fleeman, one of the most experienced riders that we have here. So Nathan, to follow up on what you were saying, people wondering, these riders are racing all over the world. Obviously, this right now is the middle of the day in North America, so the Australians pick things up a little bit later in the day as far as, you just see the racing working its way around the globe. It never quits, that's for sure. And Zwift Power, zwiftpower.com is the place to go to see anything going on. And you can pick up riders' information as well. If you're wondering about G Gringo right here, the rider just being brought back into the group, or just dangling off the front of the group, I should say, Nathan, as they're just about 21.5K into a 31-kilometer slugfest out here today. Each lap is pretty close to 2 kilometers per. And that's the finish line right in front of them now. So the sprint will have lit up at this point, Nathan, over 15 watts per kilo. There you go. 5 to go.
5 to go. And I think, I think they're kind of calming down a little bit here, Dave, because after the first couple of laps, they were really working to split things up. They wanted to make a show, it looked like, out here today. They didn't want to just sit around. But look, who's been following wheels here? And interesting to see. The green jerseys are the dropouts. They got a lot of riders in here. And I wonder if Turner, knowing that he's already kind of won this out already, he just needs to make sure he makes it to the finish line. I wonder if he's trying to loosen up the legs of some of the other riders while his teammates are following. Maybe looking to try and support some of the other green jerseys out there for the dropouts. We're talking Mike Schwartz. He's in here. There's plenty of riders here that could get some benefits still in just a win on the day for the dropouts team. So perhaps Andy's out there more being a workhorse for the team after they've put so much on the line for him throughout the series.
One of the things I learned early on from you, Nathan, was the riders that are able to keep I'll use the term TSS, but just keep their battery charged up, not wasting 1 calorie or 1 watt out there. And when you look at Brian Hodges, I just saw him, Nathan, sitting in the sweet spot of the group, a little deep, I would say, but he's no longer worried about any kind of a split happening at this point. Hodges is going to be very tough to beat today, especially, Nathan, when he's doing all the right things up to this point. Have you seen him put his nose into the wind once? I haven't, but you're always so observant over there. But I think that Hodges is riding nearly the perfect race, although this hasn't been super complicated out here, has it? It's pretty straightforward. All in all.
Very straightforward. Attack the climb, counter the climb, attack the climb, counter the climb, over and over again. But look at this. Dropouts on the attack, though, again. The green jerseys just will not stop, it looks like. They already got a 1 second gap.
the disruption, Nathan, right? The kind of racing that we love is the guys that aren't going to wait for the sprint to come to them. They're going to make the race, and here we go. It's on again.
Yeah,
It's
and it looks
on like Halo
Schwartz.
3.
Oh my goodness. Donkey Kong's still good for me. Donkey Kong's still good for me. It looks
Right
like
on.
Schwartz here though now, and it looks like Steven Pink. They might actually catch a teammate up here. Maybe he'll get his free lap and they'll work together. Be interested to see if they pull that off here. But Wood here from Innovation, as well as Cryogen closing things down. It looks like PTZ with Ricardo,
Shutting it
Messineo, and then it's going to be Kramer. More there from Ribble actually. Good to see more jumping into the peloton here for a little bit of a go. McGlinchey now calming things down. Your chatter there with 4 to go on Brian Hodges was right spot on. I haven't seen Hodges stick his nose in the wind at all. If we take a quick look at ZwiftPower.com and get an idea of how things have been playing out so far, I have a feeling all we're going to see is low watts per kilogram coming from Hodges, and Hodges may be going to be the favorite out there. I'm not seeing a James Bevan out here. Bevan raced this morning in the SRAM Sendit series, actually, and took down the win in the SRAM Sendit series for their final. So Bevan already put a sprint out there today, so McGlinchey maybe, but McGlinchey not quite as much of a pure sprinter, I think, as Hodges.
That check cashed when you talk about James Bevan, paid in full. He only wins one bike race a day. He limits himself, Nathan. He definitely, he would be the one guy that would absolutely challenge Hodges out here today without any doubt. But again, you never know who's going to upset that apple cart that we talk about when you look at your established riders out here. These guys have been racing again now, whittled this group down significantly from the 158 that we started with. There were a couple splits that occurred along the way as we move now into really the final 6 kilometers. But Nathan, what matters is laps. That's for sure. And they will be coming up on 3 to go here.
Yeah, 3 to go, and that's really you're 100% correct. It's not so much the distance to the line on a quick course like this. It really comes down to how you're going to play each lap, especially with how the elevation changes on it, positioning, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see how this starts playing out here. As I'm looking for some of our live cam riders here, but it's going to be Ivany from Finesse actually that's trying to make a little move off the front. Speaking of the watts per kilogram and who's put up the workouts out there so far, it's been over 5 watts per kilogram, 5.2 for a lot of the riders here. Turner's currently put out about 5.2 on the day, but that's only with 30 minutes of, well, not only 30 minutes of racing in. Brian Hodges 4.6, and that is almost the lowest out there amongst the riders. So I think you're 100% correct there. Hodges playing to his talents.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary when one of the strongest riders has done the least amount of work. That is not what you want to hear. If you're, you wanted to put some pressure on him, but he didn't take the bait, did he? Andy Turner tried to suss out a couple of times. Turner rolled up to the front, seeing if anybody wanted to come with him or forcing other riders to chase, but it really wasn't all that effective, certainly as you note, Nathan. And I love the fact that you've got that data at your fingertips there. Is this now is where you go ahead and burn a match or two when you talk about from the perspective of Brian Hodges. But now Araldi and, Messineo is another rider here that really also has done a very good job, much like Hodges here, just quietly staying back in the group, not overreacting to anything, and just staying chill. And as we look now, is really active early in this race. But once we separated, Nathan, the wheat from the chaff out here and got down to this group, there hasn't been much more attacking here. I think these guys are all looking to the end game, the finale. There's going to be one last attack, and I'll throw a name at you. Let me know what you think, boss. But I think McGlinchey would probably be the guy I'd be watching the closest. If I wanted to go with an attack, I would certainly be following his wheel when he launches.
Cyrus the Pros Closet might put something together here. You might not. You might
right.
be correct
You're
there.
100%
Actually, they've
right.
got Fleeman. They've got Cyrus
absolutely.
Dan Fleeman. I think, and those two, you could see those two go off the front. Fleeman and as well as McGlinchey. They know each other. I think there might be also one more name though when it comes to sprinting that I want to definitely throw in there as well. Vigo Moore. I think you've been thinking of that name as well. Vigo Moore is one that's been up and coming, and somebody who may be new to the scene of the sprinting out here on Zwift, but I think he's proven himself in the last couple of weeks. And when it comes, to being able to challenge Brian Hodges, I think he may be one of the only guys in here when it comes power for power, pound for pound in the sprint. Now, there is also a reality, though, that timing and experience are also really going to matter. We'll have to see if Viggo Morris figured that out on this course specifically. And there's a lot of riders that have a little bit more. I mean, Hodges, he's going to be one of the most experienced, though, too. So it's going to be tough to beat him on this course.
Yeah, is it youth and enthusiasm, Nathan, or experience? Which is, that's always one of the great questions in the sport. Is Viggo is only 17 years old. In real life, he rides for really America's one of the premier junior squads here. The same team that the junior world champion rode for, Quinn Simmons. Quinn now with Trek, but he was on Lux, which is a team that a lot of junior riders aspire to be a part of. So Viggo, a super, super talented rider, 17 years old. The other end of the spectrum, though, you've got the guys with tremendous experience. And here's another guy kind of in the middle there, U23 rider, George Mills Keeling. Certainly a rider, I wouldn't mind going with him in the breakaway either. Ollie Moore's right there. Boy, some big names here rotating around on the front, the usual suspects, if you will, Nathan. Everybody got the memo, though. You want to move up now, boys, because here we go. We are locked and spring loaded. It's the 3R, Wahoo, Ride Real Race Series. Nathan, this one's going to be a Donnybrook. I can't wait.
Lap and a half to go. This is going to be the penultimate climb out on course here. Gringo making his way to the front. Morris Keeling now trying to position himself up toward the front as well. Zach Harrod starting to move up, it looks like. Jagerman, Gringo, Ostrom taking over the front. Wiglinski's there as well. Looks like Jay Dare from PO Auto now on the front there. 236 watts backing right on off. Don't want to put your nose in the wind too much. Not too much work. That's definitely not what you want at this point. Now Gringo, though, off the front. 102 RPM, 7.1 watts per kilometer. Coming from him. Jagerman's there. Larson's there still. Looks like Simon Corr, KRT, McGlinchky, all up in the top 10 to 20. Now, this is all about timing here, though. This is such a difficult moment in the race because you have to make sure that you don't do what Gringo's doing. He's just going to get eaten up for his effort at this point at 173.
They absolutely swarm you. Nathan, I know it's going to get bananas out here. I'm going to throw one last name at you. Caleb Carl is in this group. I believe Caleb Carl is here. Let's see if he can get up into the top 5 today. He's been a rider whose trajectory has been amazing lately. I certainly don't need to tell you to watch out for Caleb Carl. And here we go. This is it, folks. We're down to it.
Yeah, we're looking at Zach Harrod here. Here's the live shots. This is what it looks like in the pain cave with Harrod. Let's also take a quick look here. Here's Turner as well. Turner trying to ramp things up just a little bit. This is your series leader versus the top, also a top 5 rider here with Harrod. Now, as we're on board with him, he's moving backwards actually instead of forwards. Maybe just trying to calm down a little bit with Harrod now over in with Turner. He makes his way up to the front now. We'll stay on board with these boys. We'll see if Keeling gets in a good position though as well, as it looks like Turner's sitting pretty. 3rd or 4th wheel. I don't think he's going to want to move back from there from this point on.
Man, I tell you what, Andy Turner, again, Nathan, is our series leader. He's playing with the house's money here. It's a time series, so he's got that on lockdown. Now's a chance for him to try to double down here. He looks like a panther that's got his eyes on a bunny rabbit right now. I mean, that guy looks very, very hungry to take a win as this group is now, you can see Hodges moving up there in the white jersey, Nathan. Watch out. Hodges is now starting to sniff the finish line. All hands on deck, gentlemen. All hands on deck as the alarm bells are ringing. It's the grand finale here. The 7th of 7 for the 3R Wahoo series. If this doesn't give you goosebumps, I have no idea what to tell you. Go see your doctor, Nathan. Here we go. I'm going to throw it to you for the finale.
Yep, it looks like 6.7 watts per kilogram. I'm currently coming from Andy Turner here. That's what that looks like there. Now it's going to be Harrod. It looks like all the way is also moving forward. They're still right about 10th or 9th position. Perfect position here coming from these two riders. But off the front, it's going to be Lundqvist. Lundqvist is going, it looks like here, 16th position, moving backwards actually. Where Turner be able to hang on. He's trying to focus. McGlinchky's going forward as well. Hodges, I'm going to be watching Hodges though. What is this going to look like from Hodges? Ashton now trying to open up so late here. Innovation now, it looks like with Wood going up into 9 watts per kilogram. kilogram. Where's the final kick? That's just a lead out, actually, from Fleeman. Fleeman's not going to be able to hang on to the line here. Here comes Maglinsky, 14 watts per kilogram here coming from Maglinsky. Up and down the saddle, Zach, Herod, where's Hodges? Maglinsky's looking to make it happen here. Hawden, though, 13 watts per kilogram right to the line. It looks like it's going to be Maglinsky. It looked like Maglinsky taking it at the line. What a kick there from Maglinsky. Totally was not expecting Hodges to get taken out there. Where was Hodges? What a kick from both of our live riders as well as Keeling there. Big thank you to those guys for throwing out their cameras for us there to see what it looks like to get into a Zwift sprint. We'll have to wait and see where they finished up on the day. Let's take a quick look at the replay, though, as that all played out in front of us. Amazing kicks there, though, Dave. It was awesome to see what, we don't usually get what that live feeling is, though, from the riders. What does it actually look like to have that pain and experience of it?
I cannot believe how many guys were able to contest that. The depth of that group was what stunned me the most, Nathan. I know that there's a lot of superior athletes. I'm looking at the replay right now. This is really where Maglinchy wins the race, Nathan.
Look at him come around here. Perfect timing and perfectly positioned. Look at how his avatar is finding the wheels with that 12 watts per kilogram. Hawden's actually doing 13. Perfect timing here. We jump on Hawden. I think Maglinsky took it. We don't have an official just as of yet, but looking at the line here, Maglinsky coming over the top of Cuming. It looks like, I think Maglinsky's got to have that. Right there by
Red
about
jersey.
Right there. We're going to double check zwiftpower.com real quick. We don't want to, get them. You got to get them right? As you would say, you want results now or do you want them right, as you always say?
And what happens is this is what I've learned, and the back end API numbers will have to, they kind of crunch that as sometimes what you think you see or you are seeing. I'm not trying to be like an Orwellian Big Brother, but sometimes what you see isn't necessarily exactly what happens. So they go back and just get all the puzzle pieces put together and they'll give us results. And they are, Nathan, confirming what you saw. Christopher Maglinchy for the win. Way to go. The Northern Irish rider getting it done.
Look
Mike
how
Cuming
close. Right there,
my
though.
Goodness. Yeah. And then Andrew Hawden up there for third.
Yeah, and those were really the three that positioned themselves the best and had the biggest kick there, it looked like, with that 13, 12 watts per kilogram toward the line there. So solid result there. And then the rest coming on through. Hodges actually a little ways out. Interesting to see. I wonder if he's got tired legs or the positioning was a little off.
Again, you can't be on every day. And the positioning, he did start moving up pretty late there. The train was rolling out of the station at that point. Just a Portugal representative. Look at that, Nathan. It's interesting. Not that Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom, but Northern Ireland is, and that's where Christopher Maglinchy is from. Congratulations again, Christopher. You've had a great spring into summer now. So top four riders, because that would be Scotland there for Christopher Ashton in fourth. Then you look at another European rider, Portugal's Daniel Ricciardo, and then United Kingdom again, before we get down to Argentina with two riders in the top 10 with Juan Cruz Araldi. Ryan Larson, the first American today. Leandro Messinillo, 9th, and then Hodges, we mentioned, in 10th.
Yeah, great racing all around for sure by the riders out here today. And I don't think we're going to have any. Turner definitely taking down the series out here. And I think all the riders that needed to make that front group made the front group and came across the line together out there today. Let's see if maybe we can jump in with our series overall winner. I'll see if Andy's got his mic on out over here. And maybe be able to jump in with a couple of the others. Andy, can you might have to turn your mic on, Andy, because I'm not getting anything coming through from you at the moment. It looks like no audio at the moment, Andy. Sorry to say. But if you can hook those up, we'll have to wait and see. The audio probably changed up when you plugged in the headphones, I have a feeling, most likely. No big deal, though. We do have George on board as well as Zach here, but I think everybody's audio is off. So we're going to have to go with no interviews. It's not that big of a deal, though. It was great to get the live cams. I mean, that's really, seeing the suffering out there was absolutely awesome for sure. But we'll keep on bringing all those in. What are we up to next this week, Dave? We're going to be looking forward to the WTRL team time trial. Tomorrow, I believe there is the first of the USA Cycling Series. We're not going to be on that tomorrow. We're still planning out how things are going to go for the rest of the month of July. There's a lot happening in the background, guys. Lots of work going down for what all the broadcasts are going to be through July and all the way into probably September and October as we really start to schedule things out. We're kind of on the reset on the quarterly for ZCL calendar, just so everybody knows. So be on the watch out for some new announcements that are on their way. But 3R, it's been an amazing series here. They do, I believe they've got some giveaways from Wahoo. Be on the watch out for those. I do see Chris McGinty coming on saying, great series, and thanks, Nathan and Dave, for live broadcast. Christopher, amazing job out there today. Jerry Delport, good to see you as always. Thanks a lot to all the new viewers as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit those follow buttons and make sure to check out. We are live always on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, as well as, well, Mixer, it looks like now going over to Facebook. So we'll be live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook now almost every day. So go ahead and turn those notifications on. You can always see what the upcoming broadcasts are, usually by the beginning of the day. So Dave, WTRL. Coming up, it looks like we do have our Andy. It looks like I can hear. I think I got audio from you now, Andy. Oh. Andy, can you hear me all right?
Is that working?
Oh yeah, we got you now. Great. What nice job on the series out there, Andy. Quite an amazing turnout, and the dropout's really working it out there today.
Yeah, it's gone pretty well. Thank God for the TT. I think that's where it sort of made the difference, and then just hanging on the climbs and staying in the bunch on the sprints because I cannot sprint to save my life.
Yeah, I got you. So, Andy, go ahead, Dave.
What were your thoughts in the first half of the race? It looked like you were pretty active out there.
Yeah, it's just trying to split things up, make it a bit more interesting. Again, didn't want it to be like a big bump sprint because you never know. If you're far back in a group of 100 riders, then you might find yourself on the wrong side of a split, and a few laps probably could lose 30 seconds here.
It's been an interesting last few months, obviously, for everyone around the world. As you went into, let's say, March, are you surprised to see yourself racing here in June and being a part of a 7-race series? How surprised are you with your form and motivation? I guess just give me an update on where you're at.
To be honest, we got down a bit. The power was going well, so I was looking forward to the road season. But obviously that hasn't happened. And I mean, this time of year is when we'd have the National Road Series going on, we'd have the Tour Series crits. So be racing probably about 3 times a week. So doing these are a pretty good way of just keeping the race form going on. And I mean, with no road racing on the horizon, it's nice to have something to aim for on here at least anyway.
People wonder in real life versus what you just did. Talk to me about the intensity of the last 3K down to the last 1K and then the sprint. How similar is that? I mean, one of the things that's different is you won't get crashed out by somebody. You don't have to try to shoot a gap up inside the barriers. You know, that risk is gone. Because that risk is gone, do you dig even deeper?
For me especially, I'm not much of a crit rider. I'm not the best around the corners or that sort of front sprint, barging shoulders and all sorts. The intensity is still hard. Like, you're going into it probably 600 watts for the last few K, and then you've got to kick again to get that big sprint going. So the last K is just, for me, I'm just going backwards in that. But you can keep pushing and pushing, obviously, in an actual crit, you'd be slamming the brakes on, well, for me anyway, just for the corner and diving into that and then sprinting up speed again.
So where it applies, we're talking with Andy Turner, our series winner. Andy, where it applies, is Zwift going to change in real life racing? Will guys play the finale differently after they've learned maybe some strengths that they might have? Will we see more breakaways going late in the race, maybe?
I think in shorter races, I mean, I prefer sort of like the 4-hour road races in real life rather than crits, but I've definitely saw last year in the sort of crit races, a lot more people were able to be a lot stronger in that towards the end of it, because a lot of guys, they're working full time and they're not really able to do so much training to be doing sort of 4-hour races and being there at the end of them. But with Zwift, it gives everyone an opportunity to do sort of like hour, 2 hours, really high intensity work with that sort of carrot on the string motivation of chasing riders. So you come into the race season with the crits and they're going well.
So, okay, last question for you, Nathan. Thanks for allowing me this indulgence. So, I don't think a carrot would be the reward that you're looking for after all of this 7 race series. What's your indulgence? What do you, a cheesecake for everybody here in North America? Maybe what would be your, if you're going to let loose, what are you going to enjoy? Congratulations, by the way, again.
Thank you.
A pint,
Let
maybe.
loose for me would. I'm not much of a drinker, really. If I was going to, it would be cider. I live in an area called Herefordshire in the UK, and it's big for cider. But my sort of like treat probably be pizza. Anything Italian, really.
Pizza,
Good.
pizza for
Universal.
the win.
Yes. Well, hey,
for sure.
enjoy a whole huge, massive pizza on us. You were fantastic out there. Great job.
Great job, Andy.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot
Cheers, guys,
for
for the
coming in.
coverage.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it a lot. Great job on the win out there, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Andy Turner, our series winner. We also do have 2 riders. I'm going to try and bring them in at the same time because they're on the same team. East Dallas, it looks like, at least virtually. I know George Mills Keeling also riding for Ribble, I believe, in real life. But let's go ahead, and I think I do have George's avatar still hanging out on Zwift as well. So we'll go ahead and bring it over the top. But it was good to have both of them on board out there today, giving us the live shots here. As I believe they're just cooling down. Maybe they aren't out there any longer. Lundqvist actually going to be giving us some shots here. But we got Zach Harrod. It looks like he's in the lower left here. Zach, good to have you on board. We also have George Mills Keeling here on the right. Guys, great job out there. Both riding for East Dallas out there today. How was the racing? I'm first going to go to Zach. What was the plans out there today, Zach?
Yeah, it was not really a course that suited me, so I was going to try and eke everything I could out of it, really. So normally I love to sort of attack, sort of what I like doing, but I knew it was going to come down to a sprint, so I thought I would save my legs as much as I could and do what I could in the sprint. But I just wasn't far enough forward. Guys at the front played it really well. Positioning was important today. It sort of went really fast towards the end, so it caught me out a bit.
Were you trying to set up for the sprint out there, Zach? I mean, it looked like it was tough positioning, that's for sure. This course is a tough one. At least from my experience, this course is extremely difficult to time correctly if people don't play, because it's not always played the same way.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't far enough forward. That really sort of set me back. I kicked okay, but yeah, I just wasn't far enough forward. And I haven't actually ridden the course before. I've never ridden Crit City, and I didn't realise how harsh those bumps were, sort of leading into the finish. They're pretty up and down, so that probably caught me out a bit. But yeah, I wasn't far enough forward.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate. I've been caught out specifically on this course many a times. George, maybe not. I mean, I think you're more of a climber. If I'm not incorrect here, maybe just looking to try and hold on to the placing out there today, and were you really? I mean, looking toward that sprint. And also another question. So there's that, and then the other question, George and Zach. I mean, you guys. I see East Dallas in both your names. Is there communication going on between the team members out there?
In terms of communication between us, yeah, we speak to each other on WhatsApp sometimes, see what we're going to do together. Like today, it's just more of a course of hanging on. There's not a lot we can really do together. I tried attacking Hobbit through the race, following Andy, but unless there's sort of like five, six, 7 of us, we're just going to get brought back on those rollers.
Yeah, right.
George,
when you look-
tell them about that.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
George, do you guys race many criteriums over there in the United Kingdom? Is this something that you're familiar with, that style of racing?
Yeah, I think over here in the UK we do. We've got a series called the Tour Series. That's like I think it's 11 or 12 crits. They're like town crits, so they're like round I don't know, around the town centre. We also have what are called closed circuits. So it'd be like a predetermined course made on basically lost ground. specifically with the intention of doing closed circuit criterium races on it.
So I'm curious now, when you started, let's go back to March. What level Zwifter, did you even have a Zwift account at that point? And you have ridden as much as anyone, both you and Zach, actually. I've seen out here a ton. What level Zwifter are you guys now?
I'm on Zwift. I'm level 28. Though I've been racing, not racing on Zwift. I've been riding on Zwift since sort of September 2015. So yeah, I was quite early to the mark, but I only started racing on Zwift perhaps in December, November time last year.
And how about you, Zach? How long have you been on the platform?
Yeah, I've been on it a long time as well, since August 2015, 2016, something like that, back in beta. I remember doing a lot of the races before the events were organised, meeting up on the start line at a certain time.
Old schoolers.
So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys and Jordan Shane as well. So, do you guys have, it's interesting, younger racers seem to have really gotten into this early. What other games do you guys play? Nathan will be interested in this. Any other gaming interests?
I used to do a lot of... Go on, George.
No, you go, Zach.
I used to do a lot of PC gaming when I was younger, so I had a gaming PC. So luckily, I can run all this pretty well. But I used to play like Gary's Mod and Skyrim, a lot of games on Steam, quite a lot of indie games, stuff like that. But not so much now.
And George, you're going to say Donkey Kong, right? Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm very similar to Zach in the fact that I played a lot of PC games back when I was younger. So again, I've got a PC gaming computer. An interesting story with that. I think it was first year under 16. My dad was like, if you win this race, it was a crit in the middle of March where it was really raining. He was like, if you win this race, you can have one of those computers that you want. So then I won the race, and I got a computer. In terms of games, I mean, I've got Minecraft, GTA 5, I've played GTA 4, I've got Team Fortress, Tropico, I got city building games, I got a lot. I used to do quite a lot back when I used to use Zwift on the Apple TV. Now I'm doing it seriously, and I've also started doing the streams. I've sort of started using my more powerful machine.
Yeah,
Nathan, I'm trusting that all checks out, Nathan.
Oh yeah, it all definitely checks out. They just need to be doing maybe a little bit more shooters from my perspective, but it's all good. Guys, yeah, as you're talking about that, George, any shout outs? And I mean, George, you're obviously streaming, so you got a Twitch or a Facebook set up as well as Zach. You guys got any places that you want to give a shout out to?
Specifically, my Facebook page is where I'm streaming direct. I'm trying to work on cross streaming to different platforms, but that's what I'm working on. It's just my Facebook page, which is literally just my name. And my Instagram, I post nearly every other day, different posts, my story, and just basically what I'm doing. That again awesome. is my app, and then my name.
Awesome. Right on, George. Hey, Zach, what about you, Zach?
Yeah, I stream to YouTube as well. Wasn't streaming this one tonight. I didn't want to put too much strain on the internet with this, with you guys as well. But yeah, I've streamed the whole series so far. Streamed the virtual Joe Martin as well, just on my YouTube at Zach Herod. But yeah, this event's been really good. Shout out to 3R as well. Them guys putting it on, and thanks for you guys as well, making it, getting it out there, So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys bringing the live cams, getting the interviews in with you. Congratulations on your top fives out there in the series, and we'll see you in the next series, guys. Make sure to go check these boys out over on their streams. It's always great to see you guys putting the efforts in.
Thanks,
guys. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Zach Herod and George Mills Keeling. Great to have them on board out there today. Getting the real life perspective. I mean, these guys are obviously out here putting the work in and day out. Putting the training in, trying to win these series, and showing up every single week. It's a huge commitment. I did the USA Cycling Series, and that was a ton of work. This past this past couple of this past quarter of the year. And these guys have been racing for 7 weeks straight. Well, even 8 weeks with the 1 week we had off a little bit.
Yeah, and we've seen them doing a lot of other events as well, Nathan. I'd like to point out, it's quality young men like that really keep you interested in the sport as well, right? Now I'm invested in seeing how these guys are going to be doing, and as we get back to in real life racing, how cool is it going to be, Nathan, when we've got Zach or George racing in the U23 World Championships for the United Kingdom, or for all of these things are really what I love about this community. Those are two really cool kids, that's for sure. I say kids now that I'm in my 50s, right? Young men for sure. Nathan, it's been one heck of a ride this June. I just want to say thanks a lot for having me along. It's been a total blast. I'm looking forward to July now.
Yeah, lots more to come. I mean, amazing to see 340 plus, almost maybe even 400 riders, 150 plus in the A category out there today, and it's June 30th. July is going to be blowing up. Obviously, virtual Tour de France has been announced. Our next thing on ZCL is going to be the Coa Boys will be doing their usual thing Wednesday through Thursday, and then also be on the watch out for the WTRL team time trial coming up this Thursday. So we will see you guys for that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Great job to all the riders out there. Make sure to go check out all the results over on zwiftpower.com for official results after 3R gets to them. Thanks a lot to Wahoo for sponsoring the event, and we will see you on Thursday. As always, everybody, I'm Nathan Guerra, Dave Toll. Ride on.